love racing because it gives me an adrenaline rush. Everything I do is kind of revolved around competition, and going out and racing is like the biggest competition you can get around here. My dad got me a snowmobile when I was little, and I hated racing. I despised it. I would like sit in my helmet and cry before I went out and raced. And just because I was so slow, I could never win anything. And my dad would always make me do it. Well, then he bought me this little yellow ugly sled, and I hated it. I did not like it. It was ugly. Well, I went up to this really big race in Alexandria, Minnesota about 4 years ago, and I entered a class I shouldn't have been in. I was super slow compared to all the other racers there, and I ended up winning it. And then after that, it just really clicked, and I became to really like it. And then my grandpa bought me an F500 about 2 years ago. It's kind of when I was like, okay, I want to do better. I want to be competing with everyone else on their level. And that's when I really decided to get into shape, you know, try to eat healthy, try to do whatever I can that's gonna make me ready for racing. I've been competing on that now, and I've been doing really good, and I've started racing with the men, and I'm always placing in the top 3 against the men, and that's just when I really started to like it. Racing against the woman is one thing. It's an accomplishment, but it's not, oh my God, my life is awesome. But when you go out and race against the men and win, that's really a big accomplishment, and it feels really good. I don't think there's enough girls in the world that compete in men-populated sports. I think that's really important that girls try to compete against the men. There's not a lot of girls that can compete with the men. I mean, I know like a couple of girls that are really, really good racers, and then I know a couple of girls that they don't give it their all. And I think it's just because they think, I'm a girl, I don't need to do it, or I don't need to be as good as them. But that's not true. Every girl should just give it their all and be just as good as the men are. I always take a look at my competition and I say to myself, how good are they? What do I need to do to be able to beat them? And I always watch my competition race, you know, so I can be like, so I know they mess up in this spot every time, or I think that my sled will be faster down the straightaway, or I really just think of strategies of what I could do to beat them. So I would say that I try to think what they're thinking and then rise above what they're gonna do. How dangerous is racing? It's very dangerous. Considering some of the other things I've done, it's not the most dangerous thing to me, but it's dangerous. What appeals to me about being dangerous is just not everyone does it, so be unique. I mean, you can't be afraid of getting hurt every day of your life. You could walk down the steps and get hurt. I mean, there's nothing different from racing every day to just doing nothing every day. I mean, I don't really have a social life. Like, I'm not in school, so I don't really interact with friends. I wake up in the morning, I kind of do what needs to be done around the house, and then in the evening I'm in the race shop the rest of the night. So being around the farm has really helped me because it's like I see everything my dad does, and he's really committed to what he does. I mean, farming is not an easy job, and not just anyone can farm. So what he does kind of inspires me to do my best at what I do. And being around the farm, I do a lot of heavy lifting and stuff, so I mean, it helps me build muscle too. The way I balance going to school and racing is I don't go to school. I am doing online college in the high school. So I don't go to school at all. I stay at home and do it all online. And I made the decision to do that this last year so it'd be easier for me to go racing. Because just between school and racing, it got to be a lot, and school would get in the way of racing. I guess I should be saying racing would get in the way of school, but in my world, that's not how it works. Well, I try to get to the track a couple times a week. Last year, I wasn't very committed to getting to the track to test, so it wasn't very well. But now this year, I'm not in school, so I'll be able to get there, as much as I want. So I'm hoping that this year it will pay off. Life is kind of based around racing, and when I'm 80 years old, I want to be racing. That's what I want to be doing. Snowmobile racing, people probably don't think it's a very athletic sport. They don't see the work side of it. But when you're out there and going lap after lap, it really takes a lot of core muscle and a lot of arm muscle and hand muscle. If you didn't have the correct amount of strength, you wouldn't be able to turn the corner. You wouldn't be able to hang on down the straightaway. When your sled gets wild on you, you're not going to be able to get it under control again. So your muscle is really important. If I could choose the skills to make a perfect racer, strength is a skill you need. You need to be agile. You need to have the mechanical side of things really down pat, just to a science. You need to be fast, you need to be smart, but you also need to be safe. You need to be aware of the drivers around you. You don't want to be responsible for another person getting hurt. You need to really think about your moves, and being safe is just a really big factor. Last year here at Beausejour, I went into the bales, and we're not 100% sure what happened, but we think that my hand went through my snowmobile track. They brought me to the emergency room, and they pretty much said we're not going to do anything about it, as I had 2 fingers sticking out of me sideways. And it was the last race of the year, and I wasn't going to go home and miss out on it. So they wrapped my hand up, and I came back to the races for the rest of the 2 days, and I watched. And it really was hard not being able to do anything. I want to be there. I want to be helping people. I want to be on the racetrack. Like, when I can't be out there racing and I'm watching other people race, it just drives me insane. There's just no way I could live my life without racing. From racing, I have learned that I'm not invincible. I have learned I can get hurt, and that if you're not safe or cautious, you probably will get hurt. From crashing, getting banged up from racing, I have learned in my everyday life to be more cautious. I mean, everything I do I'm more cautious about. From working in the race shop just to doing chores around the farm or around the house, I'm always like, oh, that could hurt me, so I'm gonna be cautious about that.
How did it feel to win today?
It was really good. I kind of came into this weekend not thinking I would win just because of my previous accident. So I came here and I just told myself, just try to get the mojo back, just do the best I can. And I ended up winning most of my classes, and I got a couple seconds too. I didn't expect that, so when I did win, it was a really good feeling. Just knowing that I still have the mojo kind of satisfies me. So there was 2 crashes and we had to restart both times. And I don't always get the first place right off the start. So when we had to restart, I was really nervous, and the guy that was right behind me usually has really good starts too. So I was like, all right, I gotta try really hard to get this first place right away. Well, then I almost jumped the flag, and if I would have jumped, I would have been sent to the very back, and there's no way I would have been able to get to the front. So it was kind of, my heart stopped for a little bit. I had to work really hard to win my last race, and when I came off the track, I was really happy, and everyone was high-fiving me and hugging me. And then my boyfriend pulls up behind me and he's like, I got 3rd. And I was like, no way. So then we kind of all celebrated, and it was just having my friends and family there waiting for me when I got back was really nice.
Well, it's exciting, kind of a proud moment. She had a good day. Little nervous, so you have to put that in the back of your mind, the nervousness. I raced myself for quite a few years, so I guess I have a feel of what it's like to be out there on the sled. But I will admit, there is a little bit of nervousness that does take place watching her.
It feels better to win against the men because everyone thinks that men are naturally better than women. So when I can go out and win against the men, it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm not good too. It's not just the men, it's also us girls. So it's a really nice feeling. What my workout's like? Well, I do them all at home. When it's nice out, I'll go for a run outside, and I don't really like running inside, just the environment isn't really great for me. I do a lot of weightlifting. I'll do a lot of sit-ups and, you know, core strength. Your arms and your core is mostly what you use in racing, so I really focus on that. Especially girls, it's important because guys have an advantage at being stronger. Not every girl is less stronger than a guy, but I think that's important for girls to get that extra workout in, to get that extra strength so that they can really just be competitive along with the guys. I'm not big into the mechanics part. I work on my own sled, but I don't understand a whole lot of it. I just like to know what's being done to my sled so I can say, yes, I like this, no, I don't. But I feel that I need to work on my own snowmobile because if I don't understand what's happening when I'm out on the track, it's probably because I don't understand what's happening in my sled. So I need to know what's going on in my sled so that when I'm on the track, I can be like, yeah, this needs to be changed back to the way it was, or I need to change this more. It's just so important to understand your own sled so you know what's going wrong or what you need to fix. I mean, if I could just go racing and never have to work on my sled, that's obviously what I would do. If I could get paid to go racing as a job, that would be a dream job. That would be everything to me. Without my family, I would not be racing. There's no way I'd be doing it. My mom, my dad, my sister, they're all the biggest supporters. And then of course there's my boyfriend too, and he's like the muscle of the team. Everything I'm not strong enough to do, he's there to do for me. And they're the backbone of my racing. My family's support means to me, well, everything, I guess, because I wouldn't be racing without them.
One of the things I know that there's a couple times when she's pulled off the track early because she thought that she wasn't doing well, the sled maybe wasn't running right. And I do always encourage her to stay out there, finish the race, learn what you can. Even if the sled's not running right or not handling right, use it for a learning experience. Try to make the best of the situation that you're given, because when you're on the racetrack, there isn't time to make adjustments. You have to deal with what's taking place and do the best you can with that situation.
I know that when I get on it though, it doesn't take off right away. It sits for like 0.5
Feels
seconds.
like it's spinning
the
you?
track is spinning. My dad pushes me to do everything just as good as I can do it, and without him pushing me, I wouldn't have the motivation to be the best that I can.
My father did it. My uncle was involved with the Arctic race team. So it's sort of a family history. I raced myself for quite a few years, so I guess I have a feel of what it's like to be out there on the sled.
The Winter Spectacular in Alexandria, Minnesota, I crashed. I went right through the bales, and I was so, I didn't know where I was, and I'm pretty sure I was unconscious for a couple of seconds. And they were asking me questions, and it was just I knew the answers to them, but I couldn't get them out. I was just laying there. And my dad fixed the sled overnight for the next day, and he's like, yep, you're going back out. And I'm like, I can't go back out. And he's like, you're going back out. So with this sled that's half broken, still in pieces, I went out and I won the next race. There is no words to even explain that. I mean, from going to being knocked out one day and then going to winning a race the next day on the same sled, it was just incredible. And that was in the class that I had no chance of winning in also. Being able to push past my goals at a race is just the best feeling a person could ever have. It's like an adrenaline rush and then happy tears, and it's an amazing feeling. When you can beat that person that everyone said you'd never beat, or when you can win that race that everyone said you'd never win, I'm a very emotional person. Every time I do something amazing, I come off the track crying with tears in my eyes. When I can't attain the goals that I have set for a certain day, I get down about it, but I've been raised to always look at the bright side of it. I mean, you always go to a race and you always come home learning something new than what you knew before you went. It's never a disappointment going to a race. There's bad days, but it's never a disappointment. You always learn something. I've recognized some of my weaknesses, and one of them was kind of being petty, I would say. And I've gotten past that now, but when I first started racing and I wasn't good, I always had a reason why. Oh, that person ran into me, or oh, my sled sucks and it's slow. And I've really gotten over that, and I've learned that everything comes down to me. Going to races, it's not just about racing. You meet a lot of friends and you gain racing families. And everyone at the races just wants to be friends. If you run around looking for a tool or something you broke, a person's gonna be like, oh hey, I got one for you. And everyone just wants to help everyone. Everyone wants to be friends, and everyone likes to be social. And the people that you meet racing are people who are gonna become your friends sooner or later. One thing I'm going to focus on in this coming year is my driving skills. My sled has the speed I need, so it's really just me, the way I drive. My sled definitely has the speed I need to win, but it's just my skills kind of need to be worked on. So hopefully with enough testing and practice, I can get my skills to where I want to be, and I can be competing at a higher level. I want to be competing with the best of the best one day. I'm not there yet, and I know if I went and competed against the best of the best, I wouldn't do very good. But I'm slowly working to get there, and I will get there. I will compete against the best of the best, and I want to win against the best of the best. I want to be the best of the best. Because racing is who I am.